by with a panel of regular American voters in the capital, Columbus. So what is the view from there? What's been the reaction?
Well, we just watched the debate, Ida, and now we do have the reaction. We have Brian Chorley, a political science student, Democrat. You were for Obama. We've got Joel Simpson on the other end, a Republican voting for McCain. And then we have the drama. We've got the 18-year-old first-time voter, Shivani Kakade. Your whole life is ahead of you. You've just watched this important political event. You're undecided. Did it give you any sort of direction for a decision?
I honestly feel like it was politics as usual. I don't feel like there was anything different that they have offered up that they haven't. There was a little bit of side changing. I heard Obama saying things about energy policies that I hadn't previously heard him saying. And McCain seems a little more idealistic than realistic to me, which I think is interesting coming from a Republican candidate. But I gotta say that I love his mentality, his attitude towards America being the best people in the world. I definitely agree with that. And I think Obama knows that as well, but has a little more realistic plans for us in the future.
Brian, as a Democrat, Obama.
I think Obama performed very well. I think he showed he connects with the average American people. When asked whether healthcare was a right or a privilege or responsibility, he answered very clearly it's a right. I think that resonates with American people. I think McCain likes to talk tough about cronyism and spending, but the fact of the matter is he was tied to Charles Keating and the savings and loan scandal. His VP selection raised millions of dollars in earmarks for Alaska. So I think he talks tough, but he doesn't follow through on what he's saying.
Obama's ahead in the polls right now, so the question for you as the Republican, Joel, does John McCain have a chance to come back based on what you hear him say tonight?
I think he does. I think McCain did a really good job. I don't think it was probably a night and day response to he's definitely ahead of the polls right now, but I think that he definitely he showed up and he did what he had to, and with Obama leading, he definitely had to make a stance and show everyone that he means business.
Yeah, I want to put you on the spot here, though. Is there one moment, is there some crystallizing thing about John McCain that makes you sure that you're making the right decision here and what you heard tonight?
Yeah, I think that I know that everyone complains about how he uses his prisoner of war past as a reason that he deserves to be the president, and I don't think that that's what he's stressing, but I think that shows that he's able to handle pressure, and I think as the president of the United States, that's an occupation that requires one that can really handle pressure. So I think that's very good for him in this election.
Do either of you agree with that? I mean, did he have a presidential look about him? Did he feel like, as Joel was saying, that he could handle the pressure based on what he's talking about in a presidential debate?
Well, back in 2000, I know that's something that appealed to me, someone who has been through a wartime situation when we were going through such a, it was before we were going through such a hard time with 9/11, 2001. But now, at the same time, on the other side of that, having someone who's been through that trauma, who is at the age he is at, having that type of thing within his system, it is something that I also question at the same time. In a time of pinch and a hard place where he's at, what kind of decisions will he make based off of his traumatic experience, and is that best for everyone else?
I think it's really shocking to me that McCain, a veteran and a former prisoner of war, votes time and time again against veterans benefits, against more funding for veterans hospitals. He votes time and time again. He voted against the GI Bill, which would give college education opportunities for veterans. I just don't think he has a temperament. I don't think he really seriously cares about the veterans, the United States Armed Forces, and he didn't seem to me very presidential when talking about foreign policy.
There was word that they were going to start heating up the personal attacks here, although voters want to hear substance. They want to hear what's important in their lives. Did you see that here? I felt at times, if I may add, that it seemed like they didn't directly answer questions right away, and it went right into, he said this or he said that. Did you feel that was the case here? Or?
I think that there was a lot of finger pointing when they both said that they weren't going to do that.
But can that be good, though, in some ways? I mean, to set the record straight, because if one person's saying something that may not be true about another person, do you want to hear that, or is that not important? You want to just hear what they're going to do for you?
I think it's necessary to an extent, but I think that they were definitely getting off topic and doing that more than they should have been.
I think if someone's saying things about you that aren't true, it's human nature to stand up for yourself and justify the things that you think are possible. But at the same time, getting to the issue, the things where they were saying, well, wait, Tom, I want to address what he said. When Tom Brokaw was clearly saying, we need to move on to the next issue. Right. Clearly there are time set aside for these issues, and they had a time to fulfill what they had to say.
I think it's important to hold the other person accountable for what they're saying. So a lot of times in these ads, they're saying misleading things. So it's important for the other side to keep each other accountable. At the same time, I think it's also important to see contrast. And I think what these things do is they show contrast between the candidates they otherwise wouldn't see.
Try to go outside of yourselves as students here with your futures ahead of you and think about what people around the world may have been thinking and when they were watching this debate. Do you think there was anything that inspired the world right now about the future of our economy here in the United States and the impact that it's had around the world? Did you look at it that way? Can you think of it that way at all?
I think that both candidates saying very firmly that our economy is going to be fixed, and even though their plans are different, they both firmly believe that their plan will work, and I think that's very good.
But if you're not from Ohio, if you're not from the United States, do you feel like that you're addressed that way? Do you feel like do you feel that the international community was addressed in terms of what they're going to do to lead this world? Apparently I'm getting a rap here. So
I think that the international community is seeing that this is an address for the United States presidential election, so they're seeing that these people are happy with that. So I mean, I would assume that they're...
Which candidate